Okay, here we go now to video number 4, and I just want to show you the little things that I did to clean up and finish my seams, the shoulder seams. I pressed the shoulder seams as you see here, this one and this one, the two shoulder seams are pressed. And you remember I said that I'm going to press the hem of the sleeve. I'm not going to make the hem yet, but I'm just going to press it so that, and if you notice, I press a 1/4 inch first here and then 3/4 of an inch to make my hem. This hem would be much easier to make up now when we finish stitching this little sleeve. Remember, we have a very tiny sleeve here, so we need to be able to have that hem in place. So I just had it there pressed so that when we finish stitching this seam here, and we go back to turn the hem, we'll be able to turn it easily. Okay, so that was the reason for pressing it. We're not going to be keeping it that way. We're going to open it back out, but the seams are in, so it will be easy to turn back when you're ready. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to be facing this neckline, because if you have a neckline here and you're going to be wearing the garments, okay, you need for this edge to be finished. So you're going to finish this edge here now, and you finish an edge with a facing. Okay, now the facing is made up the exact same shape as this edge here. Okay, it is made up in exactly the same shape. Okay, and it is always around like between 2 and 3 inches wide. At the back we make it a little wider, because what we want is that when we have the garment hanging on a rack or something like that, the back is always a little higher than the front, and you don't want the facing, the edge of the facing, to show from the front. So we always make the facing at the back a little longer, and I'll show you what I mean. So this is one of the back facings, and you see it's a bit long down here. Up here it's narrower. The front facing is narrower right through. Okay, so we have the back facing a little longer just for aesthetic purposes. Okay, so what we did now with the facing, we want to strengthen this facing a bit, give it a little bit more body. So we are going to use another piece of fabric, and if you notice, I use a piece of fabric that you can see the difference. So I have another piece of fabric here that is cut the same exact size as the facing. Okay, and you notice I pinned it on. Now the fabric that you use for, and this is called an interlining. Okay, we have the facing. Oh, this could be the interfacing. Sorry, not interlining, interfacing. So we have the facing and we have the interfacing. And this supports the facing and gives the edge of the garment a bit more strength and stability. Okay, so we're going to be joining this piece of fabric onto the other one. And we're not going to be, we have, sometimes we use something called Pellon, which has a type of glue that when you press on it, it would stick onto the fabric. We're not using that because sometimes that causes you to burn your fabric and stuff like that. This way, we can just stitch this on. It works the same way as the Pellon, and you don't end up burning your fabric or getting yourself in trouble when you have an exam going on. Okay, so what we're going to do is right on the stitching line, and this one I did draw in the stitching lines. The reason I drew it in the stitching lines is because I want to show you where I'm going to stitch. Okay, I'm going to stitch just beyond that stitching line there. Okay, I'll do a little small zigzag and around the edge here. Now they asked for 2 inches of seam allowance. Now I cut this a little bigger. The reason being is that we want to be able to stitch it and then trim it, okay, and have enough that we could trim comfortably. So I have where we're going to be trimming marked off. If you look at it properly, you will see that little dash line there, and I also have it here on this one, and you can see too this dash line. So I'm going to do the little zigzag stitch on this dash line, and then we'll trim just beyond that. Okay, So let me do that first, and then when I'm finished doing those stitches on to get these two together, I will join the front to the back just like what we did with the garment. So I'll be putting right sides together again and joining the front to the back, okay? Both sides. So this one will be on this side here. Right sides together again. You see my right sides together here. Right sides together, and I'll be joining these two at the top. So I'll be doing all the stitching here, and I'll be joining the top here, and then I'll get back to you again. So next video we will be joining this now onto your garment.